I recently, just last night, I watched a video from Intern about Valentino Rossi's time over at Ferrari. So that video actually piqued my interest a lot because whenever I think about motorcycles, Valentino Rossi always comes to mind first. Nobody else, only Valentino Rossi, because he is essentially the Lewis Hamilton of motorcycles, if you look from a reputation perspective. And now next year, Sir Lewis is racing for Ferrari. And that video from Intern was about Valentino's time at Ferrari. It makes me wonder, what happens if Valentino Rossi were to race in Formula 1 in 2027 or 2024 or something? I don't know. Okay, let's see what happens if Valentino Rossi were to race in Formula 1 in this decade itself. Well, I hope I can answer your question there if you were to ask this kind of question, which would be very crazy of you, but I will do whatever I will. So let me start with Valentino Rossi. He is a multiple MotoGP champion. We have been carried away with the Marquez domination for a long time, but Valentino still has it in him to be a competitive motor racing talent. Especially this year, he just debuted in the 24 Hours of Le Mans in the GT3 cars. So he still has what it takes to be competitive in today's motorsport. So my question now is, can he make it to Formula 1? Because he doesn't have any MotoGP commitments anymore. He could withdraw from GT3 if he wants to, if he still sees a chance to make it to Formula 1. What do you think? What do I think? In his 40s, I think he still got it. Imagine a 40-plus-year-old rookie, 10 times better than Nick De Vries will ever be, and a guy who had Ferrari experience. He can even be better than Luca Badoer. Valentino Rossi might be him. The last time I saw Valentino Rossi driving an F1 car, he was driving a Mercedes in a seat swap with Lewis Hamilton. And now Lewis is going to Ferrari. So imagine, with Sir Lewis Hamilton off to Ferrari, it could pique Valentino Rossi's interest to maybe pursue Ferrari. Instead of rejecting a deal from Ferrari, which I will admit it would take a long time and he still had unfinished commitments, why not slowly prepare himself, at least drive for Ferrari before he turns 50 years old? Because I think 50 is the limit for him. Especially for an elderly rookie in Formula 1 terms, bro. 50 is like 100 years, making it to 100 years old, Driving a Formula 1 car competitively at 50 is like making it to 100 years old in your lifetime, So, let me start with a hypothetical potential racing career, since he doesn't have any MotoGP commitments anymore. He's been retired since 2021, before 2021 ended. So let me get it started first. So let's say we're halfway through 2024 already. So let's just start with 2025. 2025, if Valentino were to restart a four-wheeler open seating racing career, like a Formula racing career, for example, I would say he would start with Freca. What do I think? I think Freca, maybe Freca, maybe not. Because Freca is Alpine, and personally, I just don't like Alpine as an organization. So maybe I just scrape over Freca. I just know Freca because of Kimi Antonelli, but I'm just gonna push it aside. Maybe, but this is probably high enough, so maybe I'll go for Freca. He'll start in Freca. How would he finish? Probably 5th in the standings. Not bad for a start. First season in a car like this, finishing 5th. Not bad. But what team would he be in? That's a good question. I think he would be in, I don't know which teams are in, but I think he might be in Prema. He might be in one of the 3 cars. And it's a bit sad because there's many more promising younger racing talents, even born in like 2007, 2000, 9 and beyond who would want to race in a Prema in Freca, but I think Valentino might be too much to resist. Like if Prema were to have a chance to sign this man, they would take it in a heartbeat. So yeah, I think he would be doing it at Prema. It wouldn't be so bad. People would be looking forward to say, oh, is this the next rookie? Is he better than Fernando Alonso? So just let me lie down for a sec. What about Formula 3? I think after Freca, he's gonna go into Formula 3 in 2026. Because I think he's gonna do very well in Freca. Why not go to Formula 3? And I think going to Formula 3 could be a blessing. A bigger blessing than skipping to Formula 2, like Kimi did. But why do I think Formula 3? Why? Personally, I just don't like Formula 2. Formula 2, the expectations are raised sky high. The pressure is almost suffocating. And I have some personal issues with Formula 2 because of what was going on with Oli Behrman and the general vibe for the series. The last time I religiously watched the series was when Porsche won the title. Ever since then, I've only watched it for Kimi Antonelli really. Like, the moment Behrman got his Formula 1 debut in a Ferrari, I just stopped tuning into F2 completely because there was no excitement. Antonelli's not getting the results in the Prema. The Prema team is not what it used to be back in the Piastri days. So yeah, that's my gripe with Formula 2. It's not that exciting to watch. Like, I don't rate Paul Aron. I do love Zayn Maloney, but I just cannot bring myself to watch Formula 2 nowadays. I mean, honestly, I just feel burnt out from Formula 2. But so, let me just go back from my waffle. I go to Formula 3. Formula 3 gives a lower profile, I would say. It keeps the pressure a bit down for you to develop, to cook a little bit in the background. So I think Valentino would probably like to go to Formula 3 because once again, he's still a bit new to the Formula racing scene. Not that new in motorsport, but he has lots of experience. But I would say he would want to keep a low profile so that there will be no unnecessary pressure heaped on him, so that he'll continue to hone his racecraft. You know, because racing in formula cars are different from racing in motorcycles. They're like night and day. You know, you don't get to lean like in a motorcycle, let's say that. So I think Valentino would be cooking in Formula 3. Which team would he be in? I would say, I don't know if I should say this, either Prema or Trident. But because I selected Prema and Freca, I think he will stay loyal to Prema as well. Unless Trident give him something they could not offer, he could not resist accepting that offer, which is a competitive car with competitive setup, competitive race and competent race engineering, and really good strategists. I think Rossi would take it because, you see, FITA series teams are not equal. Some teams are just utter shit, like Prema and Formula 2, for example. That's why I think there's a safe bet is for Rossi to either come into Prema in Formula 3 or come into Trident in Formula 3, because it is usually the Italian teams that dominate in Formula 3. ART is like very so-so in that series ever since the series debuted. So that's why I just think that in Formula 3 now, I would rather see Rossi in a Prema. I think he'll stay with Prema because Prema's usually are the dominant team. He will give a very good fight to the Tridents, so the Tridents will really fight him tooth and nail. But I think Rossi, he will still not come out as champion though of Formula 3. He will come out in third. Out of 30 drivers, he'll come out third. And let me tell you this, that would absolutely be crazy. FITA series fans will be freaking out of their heads when they see a 47-year-old man in Valentino Rossi finishing third in Formula 3. They would be mind blown. And Formula 1 teams would start to look over. Like, I'm just gonna come up put in this video, okay? I got the new 4Gs on the Jeep, kind of thing. They'll be looking over the 4Gs of the Jeep. They'll be looking at Valentino Rossi like, oh my god, that guy he's an old man and he's racing these young guns. He's better than them. Like, I think Valentino would win quite a couple of feature races over there, because I think feature races are where he can shine the most, because he just has lots of experience on the track. More than the other young guns. He'll still come third, no doubt, because his muscle memory is very different in a way. But yeah, he would be cooking. So which team would actually be looking at him after that kind of season? Ferrari? Mercedes? McLaren? And I think Alpine, because of Flavio Briatore, even and lastly, Haas. Haas, because of Ferrari association as well. They are a customer team of Ferrari for a reason. So, what would I think? I think McLaren, because of their Monster sponsorship, they would want Valentino Rossi as well. But Valentino saw that his fan Lando Norris is there. He would not want to interfere with Lando, I think, because if he sees more of Lando, he sees that Lando has is a bit sensitive in a way. He's like Charles Leclerc, but he's a bit built different, you know. He struggles more mentally than Charles Leclerc, I would say. So that's why difference between Lando and Charles is that they both have different mental states, mental energy basically. Their mentalities are different and their mental health is different as well. Now let me go back. So he's gonna push aside McLaren. He's gonna push aside Mercedes. I'm sorry to say, Toto will not want to see Valentino Rossi and Kimi Antonelli on the same grid. No, because he wants to keep George Russell or anyone else entertained. So like, he would not want to entertain Kimi Antonelli. So I think Mercedes will take one look. But I think Toto will say no, we are not going for Valentino Rossi. So I think the last two teams will be Ferrari. Oh, sorry, three teams: Ferrari, Haas, and Alpine. He might say no to Alpine. I'm sorry. He does not see Alpine as that promising for him. Like, he could take it, but Alpine have potentially better talents than Antonelli. Sorry, Rossi. Especially in the likes of Mick Schumacher. A bit silly. The funniest thing is that Mick Schumacher was named after a motorcyclist, Mick Doohan. So that's a bit funny there. Now let's move on to Ferrari and Haas. Ferrari? I think Ferrari revisiting Rossi after nearly 20 years. It's gonna be crazy. John Elkann and Fred Vasseur will be opening their jaws in awe of Valentino's talent. But they will be finding it hard to actually integrate him within the team. They don't want another Luca Badoer, because Badoer didn't have much racing experience. But then they see Valentino Rossi in the 2027, for example. Sorry, 2026. They'll be like, yo, this man, he's got the talent. And I think around that time, the junior series Formula 1 is making the transition as well. So like, I don't know if Valentino still has got it or not. They are gonna integrate is he gonna integrate well with the new cars or not? I keep forgetting Formula 1 is changing to new kind of cars in 2026. So for 2027, if any team wants to sign Valentino Rossi, if he were to restart his Formula career, they'll have a lot of questions in their minds. So let's go back to Valentino, shall we? Well, let's go with Haas for a second. Haas would be the most likely place for Rossi to go to, because it's a bit more low profile. It's not as big as Ferrari, and I think Rossi can cook a Formula 1 career there. So he'll make his debut. I think he'll replace Esteban Ocon, because as of 2024, as of this recording, there's potential opportunity that he is signing with Haas. So Ocon and Haas for 2025 and beyond. Then I think later what's gonna happen is that Ocon will be staying at least until 2027. I think 2026 will be Esteban's last season, because I think he's gonna dip after that. I think he might expand his horizons and go into other sorts of motorsport, like IndyCar for example. Is because Formula 1 is just low-key expensive. I don't think he wants Formula 1 anymore at this point, unless Mercedes will give him an opening, but maybe he'll stick with Toto, I don't know. So maybe he's going back to Toto in 2027. So door opens up for Valentino Rossi to come in, adapt to the new cars. I think it would be pretty good, because this Valentino Rossi is no joke. I think he'll be slower than Behrman at first, but because of his many years of experience, I think he will start gaining ground on Behrman very well. People will look down on Valentino Rossi because he's such a big name in a big motorsport, but at the same time, I think he will cook. I think Valentino Rossi has what it takes to be the next Formula 1 racing driver. So let's just go from Haas there. It's 2027. I think he'll do 13th in the championship. He'll do very well. 13 out of 20 drivers. You gotta be in one of the top 5 teams to get into the top 10. So to be that close to the top 10 itself in the championship standings, I think that'll be very good from Valentino Rossi at the age of 48. Wow, that's crazy. 48 years old, making his debut in Formula 1 and cooking over there. Yeah, that is no joke. No joke there. So let us move a little bit further into the future. Let's say 13th. What about 2028? Would he stay in Haas or would he get a call to Ferrari? I think in 2028, I think Hamilton may retire from the sport. Around these 3 years, he might actually get a title, his 8th title already. We don't know what Ferrari does well, but they might cook, so Hamilton might retire. So let's say Hamilton retires by 2028. Ollie Behrman's gonna step in. Charles Leclerc is gonna step in as well. But I can imagine Behrman just not being able to step up, or has a few problems, has an injury, for example, like what happened to Felipe Massa. Rossi will be there to step it up and to snatch this opportunity and establish himself in the team. He's already in a way more popular, more established than Charles Leclerc in the motorsport circle, because man with multiple championships under his belt, a man seeking to emulate Jean Surtees. So Charles Leclerc will be in this competition. This guy is, bro, Charles Leclerc, man. He's like Lewis Hamilton in terms of teammate competition. You had Sebastian Vettel, 4-time champion. Carlos Sainz, who is a decent racing driver. He is a multiple race winner now. Sir Lewis Hamilton, and potentially either Ollie Behrman, who is a bright racing talent in himself, or Valentino Rossi. 18 years Leclerc senior, wow. Oof. That is tantalizing, man. But honestly, I think Leclerc will trump Valentino Rossi, because Rossi is still so new to Ferrari, racing competitively with Ferrari. That would be interesting. So maybe 2028 is a bit early, but I think with the PR that he brings, I think Rossi would be cooking. A lot of people will hate on Rossi because of his age, but you know, I think he'll be doing better than what Sonny Hayes would do if he was really in Formula 1. So there is that, really, at the end of the day. So if Rossi were to be in Ferrari in the 2020s, I think he'll do well. He's not gonna do midfield well. I think he'll be close to the top teams. But one conclusive thought before I end this video, he's gonna do 100% better than Perez. I think because he's a bit like a blank sheet, or not really blank sheet, he's still got a lot of molding to do. I think he can mold to Leclerc's style of driving.
because he's not that experienced. He likes it smooth, definitely. He's not as rough. He's a bit, but maybe he may transition over to a slightly more aggressive style. I don't know, but whatever racing style can work for him, I think he'll do much better than Checo Perez. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's an interesting thought to go into Valentino Rossi were to race in Formula 1. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. Yeah, it was quite a long video, so yeah, thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Peace.